Hey everyone, Brett Wardle here, VP of Product and Design with Ident Solutions. Today I want to show you the new FedCheck review process. We've changed up the way that we review the FedChecks and get them moved from a Sirens present to a reviewed red or reviewed green. There's a couple of places you can do this. You can do it from the visit history. If I were to click on one of these visits, I can start this review process from here. But the even easier way to do that is from the dashboard, in my opinion, because right here at the top, you have all of your unreviewed sirens. So any siren that is in here that does not have a review status, you can get to and directly from here, instigate that review. So to start, let's go ahead and look at John Allardyce here. You can see it's very straightforward. We have a visitor and a visiting. We know who the people are, what information we have, and it kind of gives you directions right here. If you ever get lost, you can read exactly what you're trying to do here. More or less, you're going to look into each record, verify it, and within that record, you can choose to keep or ignore it. I'm going to go ahead and hit begin. You can see with John Allardyce in particular, we only have one record. It is record 1 of 1. We can look at this. We have a name match and we have a date of birth match between these two records, but you can see that the mugshot is just not the same. These aren't the same people. So in this case, I'm going to hit ignore, and you can see I've worked my way through the records because we only had one. So 0 records kept. I hit continue, and it will kind of tell me right here at the end, you did not keep any records. If this was a mistake, go back. But because I didn't keep any records, I'm going to review this one green and say no records. Mugshot doesn't match. And I can click finish. And then you can see that records out of the unreviewed statuses. If I then go to that record, you can see I'm now reviewed green, and it leaves my comment in there. So if we ever find this person in the future, we can see the reason for that review. Now let's go ahead and take a look here at Mortimer Toyenby. This one has significantly more records. We're going to click begin. You can see we have record 1 of 3. If we go ahead and say see all, we can see we have an arrest record and 2 criminal history records. So we're going to go ahead and look at this arrest record. The first one, the name checks out. It looks like the record does have a middle name, whereas the ID did not, but that's just additional information that might not be on the ID. We do have a positive date of birth match as well. If I were a facility that cared about the drug charges, this is possession of a controlled substance in Florida 7 years ago. So I'm going to say, yeah, that one's definitely one that I want to keep a hold of. Same thing here. It looks like we have another drug charge. Again, the name matches, the date of birth matches. Again, in Florida 7 years ago, another possession charge, oxycodone, and prescription without having a written prescription. So I could keep that one as well. And once again, 3 years ago, we have another paraphernalia and meth possession. So I can keep that. You can see now I've kept all 3 of my records. If I wanted to jump around and get a better look at these, I can continue to use this see all and clicking on each one individually. But for this purpose, we've kept all 3. We're going to continue. We're going to review this red and just say multiple drug charges not allowed in facility. And I can finish. And then you can see again, if I go to the visit history here and I click on Mortimer, I now have a reviewed red. It's going to leave my comment as well as cull this list down to only the records I kept. So if we get a wealth of records back, like 10 or so, but there's one egregious one that keeps this person out of the facility, by keeping or ignoring the records, it's going to kind of attach them to this review, and only those pertinent ones are going to be shown here. So it makes it very quick to understand and digest data. I no longer have to look at big lists. I can see exactly what things I want to keep in mind if I go back and look at this review in the future, if this person shows up again. So that's the new review process for the FedChecks. If you do have any questions, want to see how this works, feel free to reach out to a CX representative or anyone here at Ident, and we're more than happy to show you more about this feature. Thanks, everyone.